Today we've got a hybrid battle between Emperor's Children versus Dark Angels and Deathguard. We are playing Hammer and Anvil, Take and Hold on GW Terrain Layout 8. Here is a lookout at the battlefield of Terrain Layout 8. Pretty straightforward, at least there's some places to hide on this one. Next, we will go to the armies. And for the Emperor's Children, we have the Lord Fulgrim, 6 Flawless Blades, 2 Chaos Rhinos, 2 units of Noise Marines with Lord Cacophonist, 2 units of Tormentors with Melt-A-Guns, 1 unit of Infractors with Lord Exultant, a Winged Daemon Prince, a Maulerfiend, and Lucius the Eternal.
All right, you guys. For the combined arms detachment, we have Deathguard. We have 995 points. We have Mortarion leading this force. We have a collection of 70 poxwalkers, 3 units of 10, 2 units of 20, and then we have 2 units of Chaos Spawn helping it out.
Going over to me, I have the big man Knight Castellan, totally Jaegered up. And we got a unit of henchmen, a navigator, 2 lieutenant with combis, and the lion himself.
Right, for deployment, we have the squad of Infractors with the Lord Exultant. We have Fulgrim, the 6 Flawless Blades, Lucius the Eternal, squad of Tormentors. Then we have the Winged Daemon Prince, and 1 Rhino full of Noise Marines, a Lord Cacophonist. And infiltrating, we infiltrated out a squad of Tormentors.
For the Dark Angel side of the quote-unquote truce, we got some henchmen over here with a skull and a multi-melta aiding back over here with my allied unit. We have the navigator just sitting pretty where everybody else can go have fun. We have the 2 lieutenants as the honor guard for the lion, ready to do battle. Backing him up, we have Mr. Lancelot with his volcano lance and big plasma gun.
All right, the forces of the Deathguard being assisted by the Dark Angels. The Poxwalker swarms have deployed. We have, we've forward deployed them. We have 10 on objective 1, 20, 30, 40 out no man's land, and I believe we have another 20 right behind this wall, eyeing up for that center objective, which leads us over to Mortarion himself, surrounded by his Poxwalkers, a unit of Chaos Spawn, and another unit of Chaos Spawn assisting or being assisted by Sir Lancelot, the Knight Castellan, and the Lion himself. All right, guys, turn 1. First up is going to be Deathguard and Dark Angels. The cards we drew for round 1 is going to be Area Denial and Mark for Death. Ron has picked Fulgrim, the Tormentors, and Lucius the Eternal as his marked targets. We, in turn, have picked the Tormentors all the way up the board as our gamma. Our command phase abilities, the Lion has gone for his 2 prime mark abilities of a 4-up Film of Pain against mortal wounds, and Martial Exemplar, reroll hits and wound rolls of 1 in combat. Other than that, guys, oh, and of course, Fulgrim gets his abilities, always gets his just, has gone for -1 to be hit. End of movement, turn 1, we have Poxwalkers moving up along with Mortarion. We have another unit of Poxwalkers taking the middle objective, perhaps getting us area denial. The Chaos Spawn moved more towards the center. Large 20-man units of Poxwalkers stay in position. Over on the left flank, Sir Lancelot, the Castellan, Lionel Johnson, and Lieutenant Retina all moved up, along with Chaos Spawn and the Poxwalkers. Shooting phase, well, we really have nothing for our army. So going for declared charges, hopefully working out, is going to be these Chaos Spawn into the Tormentors right on the side. And then perhaps one of the lieutenants will join me in this melee fray. Tune in for combat. All right, you guys, end of the fight phase. The Chaos Spawn made their charge along with the combi lieutenants. The Chaos Spawn activated first, killing 3 Tormentors. Ron pulled out smartly. The lieutenant was not able to pile in or consolidate into them. Ron's attacks back with his 2 remaining Tormentors managed not to do any damage against me, but the lethal Ichor ability of the Chaos Spawn ended up doing 4 mortal wounds back to the Tormentors, finishing them off. Card-wise, we have achieved our Gamma marked for death, and we've also achieved Area Denial in the middle with one of our units of zombies. On that, going on over to Ron.
Alrighty, I drew no prisoners and overwhelming force. I've got a heck of a battle here. They've got a lot of power plays that they can do, so I'm just going to play it hyper-aggressive and see what the hell happens. Catch ya after movement phase. Alright, in the interests of hyper-aggression, I advanced the Infractors with the Lord Exultant way up here. I moved the Tormentors after sticking the objective up to there. Lucius, followed by the Flawless Blades, were moved up to there. The Rhino, full of Noise Marines, has moved up to there. Still debating whether or not I'm getting the Noise Marines out. I actually might, now that I'm looking at it. In shooting phase, my Noise Marines got out and put some shots into both of them. Managed to kill one Beast of Nurgle, or Chaos Spawn, and after some shenaniganry with some sustained hits that I forgot about, managed to bring down the Lieutenant as well with strat support. That's it for shooting, though, so we're going to charges. Alright, in the charges, I charged my Infractors with Lord Exultant at these 10 poxwalkers, and noticeably there are no poxwalkers, which with the Icon of Excess gave me 1 command point. I shot and got that kill, you saw that. I also charged the Lion with Lucius, and neither of them killed each other. They actually left each other at the exact same damage. Both of them are at 4 wounds remaining. Given that I killed multiple units, I killed in shooting and in melee 2 units. So we've got 4 points on no prisoners and 5 points on overwhelming force.
Going into Deathguard and Dark Angels turn 2, we drew Defend Stronghold and Engage on all fronts. Our command phase abilities, going over to the Lion, he still needs, he's going to stick with the same command phase abilities as turn 1, which is going to be the 4-up Film of Pain against mortals, and the Martial Exemplar for the rerolls of 1s in combat. Other than that, for our primary, we ended up scoring the Big 10 for Take and Hold, for still holding our home objective and holding 1 in No Man's Land. And the movement phase, Mortarion has moved up to engage the Infractors along with the Lord character in the squad. 20 Poxwalkers are following close behind Mortarion. The Chaos Spawn have also moved up into an advantageous position. A lot of things have happened over on the left flank. The Lion has fallen back from Lucius and is being protected by 10 Poxwalkers, zoning out Lucius from getting back into the Lion. And Sir Lancelot the Castellan has moved up, touching into the terrain, unlocking line of sight and options, and hopefully blasting away this Lucius the Eternal once and for all. End of the shooting phase, a lot of damage has been done. The Knight Castellan opened up, ended up taking out Lucius the Eternal. The Volcano Lance destroyed the Rhino, which exploded in turn, causing damage to all units in this sector of the field. Noise Marines took damage. The Chaos Spawn survived on 1 wound. And the Demon Prince, right behind, also took some damage. And then the plasma cannon afterwards took out a handful more of Noise Marines. Going into the charge phase, Mortarion and hopefully 20 Poxwalkers declaring a charge against the Infractors over there. Tune in afterwards, see how the results go. All right, end of the combat phase in Battle Round 2. Mortarion got in with the infractors. We spent 1 CP for precision on his weapons. We ended up killing the Lord Exultant. And after the poxwalkers got in, there was only 1 infractor left. The infractor fought back, but we ended up making our saves with the poxwalkers. Over on the far side of the table, the Chaos Spawn fought the Noise Marines. We ended up killing 1, but in return, they managed to take off the last wound of the Chaos Spawn. Objective-wise, we are currently working on Defend Stronghold, and we scored the Little Engage for 1 point.
Alrighty, so I pulled Display of Might and Sabotage. Display of Might's a possibility. Sabotage ain't going to happen. I need command points, though, so I'm going to sit on it and discard it at the end of my turn. Alright, I decided since this game's a wash anyway, I'm going to see what my toys can do. I pulled in the Noise Marine squad that was in reserve, put him right here. I moved my Demon Prince up to charge that lovely gentleman right on the other side of the wall. Fulgrim beat feet to get staged for next turn's go turn. My Flawless Blades moved up, pressured the Knight to force a screen, and moved up for that charge right there. My squad of Tormentors is going to fire off some bolt guns and a melt-a-gun right there. I still have a Forge, or a Maulerfiend in reserve. In shooting phase, I was largely unsuccessful. I did manage to drop a couple of the poxwalkers off that squad with the Tormentors. All of these Noise Marines shot into the big man here, dealt 5 damage, and battle shocked him. The Demon Prince, he shot and just whiffed. Alrighty, this was a rough turn for you, boy. We knew it was coming. So my Demon Prince went over here, charged into the lion, did a singular mortal wound on the charge, and failed just enough saves to die in the lion's fight first. My Tormentors came over here. They put some hurt into them, but it was a wall of poxwalkers, so they are all still standing, including the one individual Tormentor, or infractor from earlier. And then we had my Flawless Blades charge in, and I got a little bit cocky and only put 2 into the lieutenant. He is alive with 1 wound remaining, but they did chop up a whole bunch of poxwalkers, and only took 2 damage in return. As far as scoring, I did not score anything but 5 primary this turn, and I will be burning Sabotage for a command point. On to turn 3.
All right, guys. Battle round 3. Deathguard and Dark Angels drew Display of Might and Bring It Down. This is the end of the movement phase. Poxwalkers have remained stationary. Mortarion has hopped over using end of his movement phase, using his Host of Plagues ability, ended up killing 2 of the Tormentors and the last infractor. Well, 1 Tormentor and the last infractor. Over here, we deep struck, spending our only CP to drop in 10 Poxwalkers. All the other units of Poxwalkers are converging onto the Flawless Blades, trying to stop the bleed of them, and perhaps drown them in a tide of zombies. The lieutenant passed his leadership check and fell back. More Poxwalkers have moved in. And over onto Ron's home objective, Lion L. Johnson has passed his leadership check. And deep struck onto the home objective. Ron, in response, has rapid ingressed his Maulerfiend. So come next turn, he'll have a response to the lion.
Lancelot has fired his shots into 3 units. We had the first unit of Noise Marines taking a couple of Melta shots, blowing up 1. A huge blast from the plasma and the shield breaker missile cannons and the assault cannon into the bigger unit of Noise Marines, leaving a single man. The volcano lands, blowing up the Rhino, and the lion making a couple of shots, but failing to actually deal any damage.
End of the fight phase. We ended up destroying 3 Flawless Blades with the swarm of Poxwalkers getting in on them. They fought back. They did kill a handful of Poxwalkers in return. The Knight Castellan, Sir Lancelot, made a 10-inch charge into the Lord Cacophonous, ended up doing a few wounds, took a wound back for his troubles. And on that, we ended up scoring Display of Might and Bring It Down for destroying the Rhino.
I drew a tempting target and engage in all fronts. They chose Mortarions for a tempting target, but I decided that I don't even care about points anymore. It's all about slaughter. So let's continue with movement. And so I moved the Maulerfiend within Melter range. I moved Fulgrim within charge and whip range. And I moved that Lord Cacophonist within shooting range. Shooting phase, the Maulerfiend shot its Magna Cutters at him. He ended up failing it and burning their last CP on a reroll to pass. Fulgrim then whipped him, dealing 2 damage and poisoning him for the rest of the game. My Lord Cacophonist here shot into its combat and dealt 2 damage. And my other Lord Cacophonist shot into them and dealt a total of 3 damage after Feel No Pains. So we fought over here, and Fulgrim dealt a fair amount of damage over here, but not quite enough because I didn't have the CP for full rerolls. But I did do a pretty substantial amount of damage. He landed 10 into him. My Mauler friend tank shocked the lion to death. My Flawless Blades chopped up another, 8 poxwalkers. Yeah, that's it. I burnt my tempting target because there was no way in hell for ACP.
Going into turn 4, the Dark Angels and Deathguard have drawn behind enemy lines and storm hostile objectives. There are no, well, there's technically 1 storm hostile objective to achieve. Perhaps Mortarion can make the charge and get it. Command phase abilities. On our side, we have nothing, but Fulgrim has gone back into his fights first doctrine in our command phase. Other than that, stay tuned.
You could have lot.
End of the combat phase for turn 4. Mortarion ended up failing his charge against the Maulerfiend. We attempted to reroll. Nothing came of it. Over here, we had the Chaos Spawn go into the Cacophonous. We had the Lieutenant go into the other Cacophonous. Fulgrim, with his Fights First ability, swung against the Knight. Ended up killing him immediately, who then proceeded to explode, killing the Lieutenant, the Cacophonous he was fighting. A Chaos Spawn, the Cacophonous they were fighting. The explosion continued into 7 poxwalkers. A devastating turn, finally, for the Dark Angels and the Deathguard. Card-wise, we did end up scoring behind enemy lines with our unit of poxwalkers. Again, I have not been mentioning this throughout the game, but we have been consistently scoring 15 primary every turn. And for primary alone, we are sitting at 45 at this time.
So I chose to not give 8/10 of a shit about any of these points and went straight for the combat. I moved Big Man up and tried to advance him. I advanced 1 whole inch. When I moved up, Homeboy here decided to run away like the coward the Deathguard are, and put me a little bit further on that charge, of which I failed twice on rerolls, so Fulgrim is just sitting there with his junk in his hands. The Maulerfiend, on the other hand, did get into combat and scored some wounds, but I believe they were all saved. The fights back, he saved almost everything and only ended up taking 3 damage.
Last turn for the Deathguard and Dark Angels, we have drawn a Tempting Target and Secure No Man's Land. Both easy cards for us to score this game, considering we are on all the points except for Ron's home field. Movement, Mortarion has fallen back. We do have plans for his host of plagues to do mortal wounds to both the Maulerfiend and Fulgrim. Units have moved up. We have reformed the Protective Circle to continue to contain these flawless blades. I still have next Poxwalkers for now, but I'm quickly running out. The agents of the Imperium have moved up to hopefully put the last bit of damage into Fulgrim. All right, guys, end of the fight phase. We had the Poxwalkers charge into Fulgrim. Our shooting and everything else yielded no damage against the man. We did 1 damage in combat against Fulgrim after using Mortarion's ability to allow the Poxwalkers to fight on death. I spent 1 CP to have them attempt to do a mortal wound against him for every 6 up. Managed to do 3. Fulgrim sitting at 1 wound remaining. And our containment has still worked. Cards-wise, we do score Secure No Man's Land and a Tempting Target.
So, Fulgrim got in on the charge against Mortarion, and you'll notice Fulgrim is no longer there. Well, fun fact, neither is Mortarion. When Fulgrim went in, he did some serious damage to him, but was not successful in killing him. The Maulerfiend, on the other hand, gave him the donkey punch from Chaos, took him off the table, in which Fulgrim chose to fight on death. Or not Fulgrim, Mortarion chose to fight on death and kill Fulgrim. So, that leaves the Maulerfiend here. And we keep forgetting to do my Flawless Blades. Let's say they're going to kill another 6. Alright, in this slobber knocker, the game has ended. It is definitely a Dark Angel Deathguard victory. I kind of figured it from the beginning, but I needed reps with my army, so it was perfectly fine to play it. Now, it was a absolutely devastating defeat with 93-23. That being said, I kind of stopped going for points at the end there and just wanted to go for blood to see what my units could do. It was a lot of fun. The Deathguard are tough as nails. Dark Angels are cheaty as nails. But a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. If I would do anything different, yeah. But, 2020 hindsight. Anyway, I will let you go to my competitors for their end recap.
All right. How did you think this game went?
I think it went really well. I liked a lot of what Ron brought to the table. I mean, Fulgrim was really fun to actually go toe-to-toe with. I didn't manage to get a chance over there in Vegas, so that was a lot of fun. Like, him blowing up the Castellan and creating a huge explosion for both me and him just took out this left corner right of the map right here. I really liked what he said. The one cheaty thing I did was basically king his backline right here, take his backfield. That was fun. Lion did die in that, but not without wounding on some points, which we were just playing for fun, but that was cool. The Castellan did the brunt of the damage, worked around 1 and 2. That I kind of saw happening real quick, and so did Ron. But overall, playing for points, I just decided to throw the Castellan right in the middle of the fray, get some more action going, make it a fun game, rather than just tactically leading him back here, doing let's have Titans fight, let them fight, so to speak.
What can I say? Poxes. 70 poxwalkers to start. Got up to 100 at one point. Ron knocked them all the way down to 30 models, but I was just all over the place. It just didn't matter. Mortarion, all over the place. Being allied in with the Dark Angels gave me the power I needed to simply just be everywhere. His Castellan, awesome. His Lion, awesome distraction. Just a lot of distractions for me, and as you can see at the end, only I was left on the battlefield. Of course, he had a couple little agents. Doesn't matter. I was going to eat him up afterwards anyways. He doesn't know that.